Hey everyone, Steven here. I'm so glad that you've taken the time to join me for this workshop called How to Live Stream Your Church Service for Less Than $20 or less than 200 kroner if you're here in Norway. And I'm just so glad to have a few moments with you tonight, and hopefully in our time together you can learn something new that helps you in your ministry. But I'm currently the core leader, along with my wife, up in the very, very, very north of Norway, in a city called Tromsø. Look for it on a map, Google some pictures. It's a beautiful place to live. But regardless of where you live in the world today, whether you live in the very north of Norway or you live in South America or South Bronx, it doesn't matter where you're at right now. We are all facing this similar problem with this coronavirus. And for those of us in ministry, it's especially challenging. One of the central parts of our job as pastors and leaders is to pool our people together to create community, or maybe not create community, but to help foster community. And it is a bit challenging to bring people together when it is illegal to bring people together. And so I have been very encouraged over the last couple of weeks to see how so many across the world really have really begun to turn to live stream as a valid way to do this, at least short term. And I've been very excited to see how much has been filling my Facebook feed and on YouTube of how many churches and different congregations are really proclaiming the gospel on social media. It's exciting to see. But I also have seen some folks really express some frustration, and maybe that's a strong word, but really feeling a bit anxious or a bit overwhelmed by this, realizing that this is our reality for the next several weeks, if not several months. And so we have to figure this out. But, if you haven't live streamed before, it can be a little bit frightening. And so I have picked up from some people that, there is this feeling that I don't quite know how to do this. And I don't just want to do it, I want to do it well. And it's quite easy today to just take our phone up with YouTube or Facebook and just to live stream, and that's totally okay if that's all we want to do. But I know that there are some who want something a little bit better, something a little bit more quality, something a little bit more professional perhaps. And so that's what I want to help you learn how to do today. I am not an expert. I am just somebody who has had to do live stream in a previous job, and I'm somebody who has played around with this for the last several years. It's a lot of fun for me, but I do know enough to help you take a few simple steps to really elevate your church's live stream, and it doesn't cost a lot to do it. Okay, so in the next 20 minutes or so, hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun and learn something new together. I have just a couple of objectives for this time together. First, I really want to expose you and help you to access a free software called OBS Studio. This is a free software, but don't worry, it's not buggy, it's not full of viruses, it's quality, it's used by millions of people around the world. But this is the software that you will need to download on your computer, and I'll talk to you more about that in just a minute. But it will help you present a more professional live stream for your church. So that's free. There's also an app that you will need to get for your phone, but I'll walk you through that. That is the one thing that costs some money. So I will go through that. That's the first objective. The second objective is I will help you set up your live stream. First, I will help you set it up visually. Make sure your camera is hooked up right. I will make sure that you are able to add a couple graphics, a logo, or some other images so that you begin the creative process of how you can do more and more. But I will show you the basics of how to get the image set up right. And then I will also help you get all of the back-end stuff set up to make sure you see how you link up your OBS Studio with your Facebook account, okay? This also works with YouTube, just as a note, but today I'll be covering Facebook, but it's very similar with YouTube as well, okay? So those are the objectives, but what do you need? Before I jump into showing you the software, there's a few things that you do need. So you do need a laptop. You can use a regular computer as well, not a problem. I just don't see many folks with those very often. So you'll need a computer, and you'll need a smartphone. Here's where it becomes a little bit tricky. An iPhone is best, all right? There are ways to do this with Android, and I will put this in the comments a little bit later. There's a way to use an Android phone, and it's people say it works exactly the same. But unfortunately, I don't have an Android phone, so I'm not able to check that out. But from what I've read online, it is usable as well. But for my purposes today, I will show you how to use an iPhone. All right. So you'll need an iPhone. You'll need the charging cable, the USB cable to connect it to your computer. And you will also need something to hold your camera. All right. So actually right now I'm live streaming and I'm using my phone that you're seeing me through. But you will need a camera tripod or something. Maybe you have an extra one somewhere at the house or in your church, or somebody does who can loan it to you. And then the one other thing that you might want to buy if you don't have is something to hold your camera with, or your phone with, sorry. Many of us have spent more money than we care to confess on our cell phones, and so we want to protect them. And so if you're in Norway, you can go to Komplett.no online, or you can go to Elkjøp and find this. If you're in the United States, you can go to Best Buy or maybe Amazon, but I'm not sure if they are delivering. But that's really all you need: a phone, a computer, and something to hold it with. Okay. But we will jump right in now, and we will look first at the computer. So go ahead, if you have your web browser, go ahead and pull it up. And this is what you need to do first. This program is called OBS Studio. And this is a free program. It's open software. But again, it is very safe, very good for your computer. I can't promise that nothing to go wrong, but I can tell you that millions of people use this around the world. And so you will want to download this in whichever version it is that you need. So you can do Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. And so you can read more about it. You can see all the different places that sponsor and help this software out. But you will want to go ahead and download the version that you need. I already have it on my computer, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. All right. But go ahead and you can go to obsproject.com. That's the website. You can also Google OBS Studio, and it will come up as well. So take a moment and find that software. The other piece of software that you need is actually for your phone. And so here you'll see it's obs.camera. That's the website you can go to. And I will put all these in the description as well. So obs.camera. You'll go here, and then there is a link. If you go here on your iPhone, you can download the camera. Again, for Android phones, you'll need to check out the Android link that I will also list below. And then this app costs, I believe, $15 or $16, or it costs around 160, 180 kroner. So there's a little bit of cost to it, but it makes it very, very easy to use your phone to live stream. I can try to make another video later about how to use a DSLR camera, but really your iPhone is the best camera that you didn't know you had. It's quite a powerful little machine. So those are the two things you... Okay, so now you have downloaded the software and you are ready to begin setting up your live stream. All right, so when you open up OBS Studio for the first time, it will look something like this. If you are using a Windows machine, it might look a little bit different, but it will be fundamentally the same. Okay, so you kind of just see that in the bottom left of the screen, there's a box called Scenes. Then next to it is a box called Sources. Then you have an audio mixer, scene transitions, controls. Okay, don't be overwhelmed. That is a lot of different things. But you'll understand in just a moment how to set it up. So on your screen to start, you need to begin setting up your live stream visually by creating a scene. And a scene is essentially just a combination of elements. So it's the video that you want to stream, also the titles and graphics or other images or videos, the other things that you want to include. It layers them all together. Okay, so that's a scene. And so you want to begin by clicking here, just on the plus at the bottom on the scenes, just create a new scene. And let's call this the main scene B. I'm going to call it B because I have another main scene and I'm not very creative, as you can see. But once you create this, it'll be black. There will be nothing on your screen. And the first thing we need to do is we need to add your camera. So this is where you want to make sure that you have your iPhone, put it in the tripod or sit it next to something, and you'll want to plug it into your computer now. So connect the USB to the phone, and once you've done that, give it just a couple seconds, and then on the sources box down here, you'll want to click on the plus, and you'll want to click on the iOS camera. Now, just again, if you have an Android phone, I believe it works exactly the same as this. I wasn't able to check it out, but you get the point. You click on the iOS camera, and then let's call it Steven's camera, just for creativity's sake. Then we'll go OK. And then it'll give you this properties box, and this is where you have to click on the drop-down menu, and you have to select, it doesn't make much sense, it just gives you this long string of numbers. Perhaps your computer will give you your phone's name, but you click on that, and boom, you see, you have me. Oh, now your camera is active and is synced up. Forgive me if I don't look right at the camera for a moment as I continue to set this up, but click OK. And now you'll see that you have your camera on the screen, but it's not filling the box. So it doesn't fill out the spots. So you just want to grab that red box in the bottom corner, and you just want to stretch it out nice and easy, and it will fill up. You don't want to fill up the whole box, but just the dark black box. That will make it the right dimensions for the live stream. Okay? And now you see, now your video is active. Now your video, this is exactly the kind of video that you could put out through your iPhone. You know, there's nothing that fancy about this yet, but it does let you have a nice horizontal image. It gives you, you know, it's nice and clear. But now we want to take it a little bit higher. And there are many things you can do in this software, many things. But I want to show you just how to do two. I want to add a logo, and I want to add a little bit of text so you can see how to do that, because both of those are very useful in setting up a live stream. So first, my church is the Salvation Army, or Frelsesarmeen, here in Norway. And so I want to add our logo. I love having our branding on it. So I go down to the plus here, and I will click on Image. And then I'm going to call it, you can see I have several options already, Frelsesarmeen, just for fun. And then, just like any other application on your computer, it asks me to find a file. And I have it here on my desktop. I have the Frelsesarmeen logo. You'll want to use a PNG file so that it doesn't have any white box around it. And then boom. Okay, so now I have my logo here. Now, obviously, this isn't sufficient. Obviously, we need to do a little bit more work. So you want to grab the corner here, and you just want to slowly drag it down to the right size. And it's your preference how big or how small. I think that's a little bit too big, but I'd take it down to the right size, and then I put it here. And with so many live streams happening, I like having our branding on the screen, but I also would like to have the text. Like, we're in Tromsø, you know, there's many other Salvation Armies here in Norway, and so now I want to add some text to the image, and so I will go down to the plus again, and I will click on text, and I will just call this Tromsø. Let me just change my keyboard to make it proper Norwegian here. Tromsø. And then I will type that again. I like to go caps lock. And we can pick a font. Pick any font. That one looks great. Okay. And now you see it puts it up in the top corner, but I want to make it a little bit bigger. And then I just want to bring it down. And I want to center it under my logo. And maybe that's a little too big. So I just grab the corner and shrink it. And I do that. And now if I'm a perfectionist, a little bit smaller. And then we're there. And now you see how just by adding a logo and adding a little bit of a title, it totally changes what you're able to offer, right? You can use your phone just to do Facebook Live, but you're really limited with these types of things. So I think that being able to add graphics, being able to add text and titles really takes OBS Studio and what you can do here and takes it to the next level. And so I encourage you, I'm going to open up this link here. If you click on the plus again, you can see there's many different options for what you can do. You can include other pre-recorded videos. You can do different audio. So if you want to have a good song and you want to have a direct plug-in from your soundboard so it sounds right. There's lots of things that you can do here if you play around with it, but I just want to give you the basics. I just want to give you the basics so you can start here and then have something for Sunday and then go on for the rest of the week. Okay, now that everything is set up visually correctly, now it is time to set everything up to work right on the back end. So there's a little bit of work here, but it's nothing too hard or too stressful. So begin by going to the Facebook page where you want your live stream to come from, right? So for me, I want my live stream to come from the Trumpsa Core page. But perhaps you have a youth group page or a volunteer page or something else. You choose the page that you want to share or the group that you want to share. Most of the time, I think you want to share through the main. So what you do is you pull up the page and you click on live video here. Just give it a big click. And then it will come up and you will want to click on connect up at the top. And what's really important, there's two separate jobs here, but first let's just look at this connect your live stream to the live API section. And what's really important is this section down here, this bottom section. I've blurred out the code, but you need the code that's in that box. And so you want to click copy right here. And then you want to go back to OBS Studio. And when you're in OBS Studio, now you want to sync OBS with your Facebook. So you're going to click on Settings over on the far right side. And you are going to go to Stream. You want to select Facebook Live. And then clear this and paste what you copied before. Right? So you choose Facebook Live and then copy in the code that you found before. Press OK. And now once you've done this, now I want you to click Start Streaming. Now, don't worry. When you click, it's not going to start broadcasting to the world. It's just going to make a connection with Facebook. And that's where we need to start. And now when we go back to Facebook, you see with a little bit of a delay, you see that our stream is now active, right? So we have got everything up. Even you see the logo and the text, it's all there. And there will always be a delay, so don't worry about that, sometimes up to 30 seconds. But now, before we finish the process, we need to put in all of our information. So this is where you have to add a title. What is this event? Make it sound appealing. I wouldn't just put church, March 22nd. Come up with something fun. Describe it a little bit. You can add tags. You can do whatever. You can play with your settings if you want to. But make sure you put in as much information as you can. And then you click Go Live. Right? I'm already live, so I'm not going to go live again. But that is how you set up your stream. Right? So it's very simple. Copy the code, take it in, place it in, and then whatever you have created on OBS Studio will be streamed to the world. Well, I hope this has been very helpful to you. There are many, 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 many things that we could have talked about, that we could have covered. There are lots of cool things you can add in, but I know that it's good to not overwhelm you in the first time. So I hope that this was helpful, and I really hope that with Sunday just a few days away, that this is helpful to you. That this helps you provide a better offering to your people. Right? As I said at the beginning, those of us who lead ministry, we put so much time and effort into a gathering, and we want it to be well done, and we want people to meet with God. And so we do all that we can. And so that in this new medium, though, with live stream, I recognize that it's not the easiest, but I think if you start here, if you make these small efforts, I think that you will be able to offer a more high quality and more professional product for your people to enjoy as they come together while not coming together. So God bless you, and have a great, great weekend. God bless.